Hi everyone, I'm Shelly from There's No Place Like Home at redheadmom8.wordpress.com. Today I just wanted to bring you a quick video on why teaching every subject separately is absurd. For those of you who have been following my channel for a while now, I just wanted to give you an update on how things have been going in our house. Some of you may know that one of my daughters was just hospitalized a couple weeks ago. She just got out 2 Fridays ago. She was in there for exactly a week. And since she got out, it's been really hectic at home. Last week was completely filled with doctor's appointments and dietitian appointments and dentist appointments and eye doctor appointments. Plus my kids went to day camp at our church and I had to run them back and forth every day. And then Friday came and I thought to myself, I am finally done with all of the appointments and with the day camp, I am just going to relax this whole weekend. And then I got sick Friday night, and I have been sick since then with a fever and a headache that just will not let up. So this video is probably going to be a little bit shorter. If I'm feeling good enough, I might make it my normal length, but I'm thinking it might be just a bit shorter than they usually are. But anyway, I want to get into the issue of why teaching every subject separately is completely absurd. Now, if you think about school, that's how things are done. You know, there's English class and math class and social studies class and science class, and then there are electives and a language class and so on and so forth. And what usually ends up happening is that when a parent decides to homeschool their kids, usually when they're pulling them right out of school because they're already used to that setup, but also very often when parents are deciding to homeschool from the very beginning, simply because they were brought up with that compartmentalized learning style. That's what I'm going to refer to it now as, is compartmentalized learning. And you know, it really isn't the best way for your child to learn. First of all, compartmentalized learning, it teaches confusion. And this I actually went over in one of my hidden curriculum videos. The reason that compartmentalized learning, or teaching all subjects separately, or maybe not all subjects, but most subjects separately, is because it gives students the impression that things are not connected. It doesn't give them an opportunity to see how one thing is connected to another, or to see how one thing can lead to another. And it doesn't give kids the idea that life is all encompassing. There is nothing in life that only is about history. And there is nothing in life that is only about science. And there is nothing in life that is only about math. But it's taught that way in school. And what ends up happening is, besides kids being confused and just not getting the experience to learn how to put 2 and 2 together when they see how things fit together, because keep in mind, those separate subject areas, they don't coincide with one another. You know, they don't make sure that a student is learning about, for example, Nicholas Copernicus as they're learning about earth science in a science class. It usually doesn't work out that way. It usually works out that things have absolutely nothing to do with one another. So yeah, kids do fail to get that experience in making connections. And besides teaching confusion, you know, teaching in this manner very often just teaches sound bites. It teaches kids really small snippets of information about a myriad of subjects. So they might memorize lots of facts about different events in history or about different scientific concepts, but they never really get a complete understanding of the topic in general. And so what I want to ask you is, what would be better for a child to just learn through memorization and just to be able to spout off information when you ask them, or for a child to be able to delve deeply into a topic, very often a topic that they have an interest in, and getting an idea of how topics in life, they're almost like octopuses with the tentacles. They reach out and they touch every school subject that most states require you to teach. You don't need to separate things. And rather than getting just a little idea of different subjects, your child will get a deeper look into one subject, and they will be able to see how those connections are made and how one thing leads to another and how to put two and two together. And what we really need to understand is that school in itself is really it's not about education. It is about schooling. They're two different things. Schooling is about teaching memorization and obedience, and it's teaching kids what to think. Education, on the other hand, teaches kids how to think, and it teaches them the know-how to be able to look for the information that they're interested in finding for themselves, to be able to find those things that they're curious about. And this is a skill that they can take with them through adulthood. So, a lot of times people will get worried that there's going to be gaps if they don't cover, dozens of subjects throughout their homeschool years. But really, how much of that do you think that your children will remember at the end of their school years, especially if they're being taught in a way where you just barely touch on it and then you move on to something else? When you are teaching things in a more holistic way, sure, you might not touch the dozens and dozens of topics that they would if they were learning compartmentalized style, but they are getting they're getting experience in learning how to look into things, how to research things, and really how to self-educate. And that is the most important thing that a homeschooling parent can teach their child. Anyway, that's all that I have for you today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet and would like to hear more of what I have to say, I would love if you would do that. If you have any questions or comments, you might be able to leave one down below. YouTube has allowed comments on my last 2 videos, so we'll see. Otherwise, you can just head on over to my Instagram page. I will link that in the description box. And if you like my work, you can check out my Patreon page and see what rewards I have. For my patrons there. I was going to say patients. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. Anyway, for my patrons there. And I hope you have a great day.